Hi, I'm Bridget Eslinger with the Health and Wellness Bootcamp. I want to talk to you a little bit about gluten and why you should care if it's in your diet or not. Whether you want to believe it or not, gluten is very hard on our bodies to digest, and it typically is poisonous to a lot of people. We just don't realize it. It takes a long time for some people to experience it down the road. Maybe you have health problems and you don't realize that they're creeping up on you. Others experience it almost immediately but don't really attribute it to being the food we eat. That's the last thing that we think of that's bothering us when we end up with symptoms. When pain arises in the body, we always want to look to something else. We want to identify it as something else versus really looking at what we've been eating. So pain is never normal, right? It signals something's wrong that needs to be addressed in the body. It's a message that our body's sending us, and we desperately need to pay attention to those. So when somebody is eating gluten, and 99% of Americans are eating gluten in some form or fashion, it really needs to dive in and look at, are you gluten sensitive, and should that food be removed from your diet? And if you're wondering that, and if you're having mild symptoms, or maybe you're having, grave symptoms, and you want to get to the bottom of it and you just cannot pinpoint what's causing it, chances are it is a gluten sensitivity. There's a lot of tests out there that can be done for you. You can ask your doctor to order a sensitivity test. It's a blood test, and it looks at your IgG antibodies and if your body is having an autoimmune response to certain foods. You have an antibody that pops on that blood test, and it says, hey, here's the issue. And a lot of times maybe, and you need to dive a little bit deeper, maybe it's not that. Maybe it doesn't present that well yet, right? You're having mild symptoms, they bother you, but they don't show up on any blood work. Some other things you can do is a whole host of food and environmental triggers. There's food and allergy tests out there that you can have done if you want to invest a couple $100. You can order the kit online, do the test. It's a hair sample, sometimes a saliva sample, and also those blood tests that I just talked about. You can do that as well. And some of those tests measure over 700 items in your environment and food items that could be triggers. And another one that I think is great, look specifically at your microbiome, which is our gut. And it will give you an exact food list of what you should eat and what you should not eat. It'll tell you what you could be sensitive to and what foods aren't bothering you whatsoever. And it's a great reference point for how healthy is your immune system. All those microbes in your body feed off, the bacteria feeds off what we put in there. If we're not putting the right stuff in there, then we're really unhealthy. So that's another great place to start. Again, that's Viome.com. They have a great test. It's a couple $100. Invest in yourself and see what results you get. And remember, we're all bio-individual. No two people are alike. So find out what works for you, find out what you should be eating, and get your health back. I hope you've enjoyed this. Maybe it's been beneficial. I'll see you next time.